I wanted to follow up on the reel that I posted a little bit ago. In the caption, I said, don't be your goalie's decision maker, their agent, their video review coach. Really, don't be their skills coach if you can avoid it. And I wanted to kind of, talk about that. My dad was my skills coach from the time, that I first started playing goalie all the way up to the time about 13 or 14 when AAA was a little bit more serious and they didn't have as many parent coaches on the ice. I probably was not the best student for my dad. My dad being my coach, I could probably I definitely got away with being more temperamental, the more temperamental version of myself than I probably should have been. And I could get away with that because he was my dad. He wasn't my coach. Right. And that's pretty common. Right. And that's why a lot of times parents have come to me that have coached their kids or they're one of the team coaches and they struggle with coaching their own athlete because a lot of times that athlete just wants their mom or dad to, support them, be their support system, keep things positive. And I can understand that completely. Like you don't want to, have your dad coaching you on the ice, pointing out the things you do wrong. And then you feel like that comes home with you. You feel like, dad sees every little thing. So when you can avoid it, try to avoid it. But one thing that my dad did that was awesome as a coach and as a father, he did a great job being able to separate those types of things. At least looking back in my memories, I don't really remember him getting into me in the car and ripping me about things that I might have made a mistake on or talking about, my performance to an extent that it made me feel bad. And part of that could have been my temperament, right? Maybe he tried at some point and I was like, nope, we're not having any of that, Dad. But I can't remember that. But I do remember looking back, very fondly of having him on the ice with us and some of the fun things that we did together. And I don't really remember a lot of, corrections and a lot of being all up in my grill about my game. And I think that was a big reason that I was able to continue to play and go on as, far as I did and play college hockey because, my dad kind of let me develop and do my own thing. So, just wanted to follow up on that reel, guys, because yeah, it's great. You should try to coach your kids, when they're young. Like that's awesome. But at a certain extent, at a certain point, it becomes really difficult for that athlete to have their parent as a parent coach. So, kind of take that for what it's worth. And just remember, be a support system first. And if being your child's coach makes that too difficult, maybe you step away from that aspect of things.